What is up, GOAT World? It is me, your boy JDZ, and I'm back at you again with another GOAT format video. This past Sunday, the WCQ number 40 took place, and it was a fantastic event, as they almost always often are. You know, 44 of the game's best duelists showed up, and they grinded it up, and today I'm going to bring you the top 8 deck lists from that event. Okay, I had to make this video 2 times, but Pui came by, shot a video with me, it got absolutely destroyed, but you know what? We're not going to crowd with spill, man. We're going to continue to move on, just like you guys need to go ahead and continue to move on to that like button, to subscribe to this channel, and turn your notification bells into the on position to be ensured of any new videos that are coming out so you guys won't miss out. But with that, we're going to hop on into the top 8 deck list. Coming in at number 8. Number 8, we got the duelist RABBID. Okay, RABBID representing the Safari Zone, playing this Flip Warrior strategy. It's called Flip Warriors because it's a warrior deck that also plays Flip Effect monsters. Self-explanatory. But this duelist elected to play double Mystic Swordsman level 2, double Takoichi, double Spy. I love this deck. You guys know I'm on record several times saying I think that this is one of the best decks in the format. I think it's very difficult to play against this deck. I have a lot of trouble when I find myself locked up against this deck. Just looking at it though, everything else seems pretty standard, pretty good. Double Saku, double triple Solemn, double Trap Does Shoot. I still believe we're firmly placed in Trap Does Shoot meta. You might want to bump that back up to 3. 17 monsters. That seems a bit high, a high volume of monsters in your deck, so you might have an opportunity to break a little bit, and these decks are at their worst when they are breaking. The side deck seems pretty cool as well, keeping that one Berserk Gorilla in there, keeping the Ashura Priest in there, keeping the Zombarian in there, and the Tsukiyomi. I think this deck is cool. I think the deck is cool, and I also really believe in this duelist. Shout out to RABBID. He's been grinding all season. It's just a matter of time before this duelist gets a breakthrough. I can feel it. I can absolutely feel it. He's a fantastic duelist, but he just needs to get a little bit. He's got the skills, he's got the deck building prowess, just got to get a little bit lucky now. So I'll be watching RABBID. Hopefully they can continue on and make a stride and get to that GOAT format world championship. So shout out to RABBID. All right, moving on to number 7. Number 7, same thing. Another duelist who's been on the grind all season long, trying to get there. Qualified for Worlds last season, trying to get back this season as we're winding down. We got Mr. Big Noodle, who's pretty hot. Actually won that French Invitational, got second place in that Obelisk event, but still is trying to get over that threshold and get back into the GOAT format world championship, playing another type of warrior deck. So this is the warrior strategy. Mr. Big Noodle is big invested into the bottomless trap hole. As you see, this duelist is rocking triple copies of bottomless trap hole. Double Dawn is super interesting. Warrior players, Pui mentioned this the first time we did it. Warrior players are talking about cutting Dawn from the deck. This duelist is going ahead and adding a second copy of Dawn's Allude to the deck. I'll be interested to see how that worked out for this duelist throughout this entire tournament. Everything else seems pretty standard for a warrior deck, but I think it's really cool. Main deck Zing, I think, is also quite interesting in this lineup. If I had to look at it, just looking at it, I think you need a little bit more defense in this deck. Maybe you can cut a bottomless for some Sakuretsu armors. Maybe you can bring some Widespread Ruins into the mix or something like that just to defend yourself. But you know what? If it works for you, continue to have it work for you. In the side deck, you got a very, very orange side deck. You can't even throw any change-ups or any curveballs coming in out of this side deck. You only got the 2 spells, and everything else is going to be mons. So you're pretty much locked in to this trap lineup the entire time. And I don't know if that is going to get where you need to be, but still I think it's a really solid deck. I think it's a really solid duels, and maybe Big Noodle can go ahead and grind it up and get onto that GOAT format world championship like I know that they want to be. So shout out to Noodle, shout out to your 7th place, and I hope to see you coming on for the rest of the season. Okay, moving on to number 6. Number 6, we got the duelist Pui, and this is why she was in the building. She was giving a big Ron breakdown for you guys, but she's going to go ahead and put that information on her own GOAT format YouTube channel. I'll link that in the description. Get over there to Card Academy. She's going to really break it down, so I'm not going to go full Ron on you guys. I want you to go check out from the duelists themselves, but I'm so happy and fortunate to see this duelist picking the Ron strategy back up, bringing it back to a tournament, and having some tournament success. I think this deck is incredibly cool. I think it's incredibly consistent and dangerous. I think it's a great deck. It does have a pretty high skill ceiling, so you got to be careful when you're out there trying to get your Ron on. So it's got like some empty jar elements to it. It's got some like Chaos Turbo elements to it. It's a really cool deck. Also main deck in the heavy slump, just as another curveball you can throw to your adversary. The duelist Elder Soul played this deck for a really long time, so if you guys seen this deck around, it's pretty dangerous. I keep my eye out for this strategy coming up in the next dueling season, as this deck once this deck gets out, it's gonna kind of start mixing some noise. I believe in the side deck she elected to go with the breaker, the 2 kinetics, and then a control package, and just more ratio stuff for the Ron engine depending on how that matchup is going for her. So I think this deck is really solid. I would look out for it, and also like I said, she's gonna make a full form Ron tutorial and talk about the deck a little bit more. So if you're interested in this strategy, make sure you check out the Card Academy in the next coming days and weeks. Again, huge shout out to Pui. Thank you for coming by. Sorry the video got ruined, but we're going to continue to grind no matter what. All right, moving on to 5th place. We have a duelist going by the name of PSIONIC BG. I don't know a lot about PSIONIC BG. I see PSIONIC BG around the Discord, maybe on Dueling Book from time to time, but I haven't really had a lot of interaction with Sonic BG. I'm glad that they're in this event, and I'm glad they're having a great success coming on into this 5th place finish, playing a warrior strategy again. The Warriors are kind of coming back. The Warriors are back like they never left. You know what I'm saying? Chaos Turbo is kind of taking over the metagame right now. You need the Warrior players to kind of come on in to kind of maintain the balance, and then you'll open up an area for the Go Control and the Chaos Control players to rebalance them. That's how this thing stays vibrant. That's how it works. But PSIONIC BG decided to elect to hedge towards the Chaos Control and the Go Control, playing those 2 main deck compulsories. You got the same bevy of warriors like what Jonathan LeBounty and what all these other top warrior players have kind of put on the map, main decking that Magician of Faith, and the other ratios seem quite standard. Double Dust Shoot, still, I don't know how good Double Dust Shoot is. They might have done the research and realized, hey, Double Dust Shoot might be better than Triple Dust Shoot because that card can brick on you late game, but I still think Triple Dust Shoot is what you need right now in this game. I'm not sure if we're ready for a Double Dust Shoot situation. In the side deck, you elected to go with a 1 Berserker Gorilla and the Gravekeeper Spy with some tributes in there. I think that's a little curveball right there, with a little Zaborgian coming in from the side deck with a Soul Release as well coming in the side deck with another Sakuretsu armor. I think it's another clean warrior strategy. I think it's a clean warrior deck. So if you guys are into warriors, check this out. If you like, and you can be the next PSIONIC BG coming on to scene and getting busy with a 5th place finish. All right. Appreciate you, PSIONIC. We'll see you around, and we're jumping on to number 4, another duelist who's finally getting some success. They've been out here grinding all season, trying to get there. They're so close. SYKOTIC, aka SYKOTIC, is so close as well. And just like RABBID, just like Shaggy, just like Mr. Big Noodle, they're there. They're like right there, but it you got to get a little bit more fortunate. The skills there, the deck building is there, just your luck needs to kind of increase a little bit. There's nothing you can do about that. You got to keep playing and keep grinding. It's going to work out. So this duel is electing to go with like a nicey style build, the build that's kind of been floating around, having a lot of great success in a lot of different venues. Pretty standard Chaos Turbo deck by all definition. And you got the Trap Dust Shoots in there, still sitting at 3, keeping us fully firm, locked into this Trap Dust Shoot meta. 2 Jar Greeds in the side deck. You still got the 2 Solemn Judgments. So not a lot of change up you can do to kind of flip your trap line up to better support yourself against the aggressive matchups, keeping those 2 Zombies in the side deck as well. Very standard Chaos Turbo. But when it gets to this point in this meta, especially in these PWCQs, these events are very, very competitive, very top heavy. A lot of the best duelists show up, so they're going to be playing the most meta decks. So at a point, it's going to come down to your dueling ability, your dueling prowess, a little bit of luck. This duelist definitely got the skills. They made some very good moves. I saw them on the stream a few times, so I'm sure they're going to have some great success going forward. All right. But this is pretty much standard Chaos Turbo deck. I like the Lightning Vortex inclusion. That's pretty neat, but still pretty standard Chaos Turbo deck by PSIKOTIC. I'll be looking forward to see what this duelist can do coming up. All right, moving on. We got Marvin, aka M4RVINE, M4RV1N3, aka Marvin. I call this duelist Marvin. Again, coming on in with the warrior strategy. A lot of warriors in the building, and I'm here for it. I like to see the warriors coming back, because the warriors mean you can kind of have a better keeps the turbo players a little more honest, and opens up the gap for more decks to come on in when there's a high warrior showing in these events. So I like seeing the duelists coming out playing the warriors, but this warrior deck is a little different as well. It's kind of blending the line still, like what LeBounty's doing. You got the main deck Spirit Reaper, the main deck Magician of Faith, the main deck Zombiers in there, 2 Kaiku, 2 Blade. I still think, just like I was talking about with RABBID's deck, I think your monster count is just too high. I think anything over that number 15, when you start getting to that number 15 zone, I know it's only at 16, right? It's 16, but still anything more than 15, I think you're kind of pushing it in your monster count, because you can only get 1 normal summon per turn. This deck can't swarm like that. So having all those orange cards in your hand is only going to be worse as the games go on. I don't know, but that's my thought behind it. Again, everything else seems pretty standard. You got the kept the Amazoness Arch in there, respecting burn, double walk, respecting burn. This duel is also playing the bottomless trap hole. I don't know how good that card really is. I really don't. It might be good. I think you might have to change it up. Mr. Big Noodle's having some success with bottomless trap hole, so maybe that card might be back as well. Again, huge shout out to Marvin. I like seeing new names. I really do. I like seeing new names coming in and having some success in these tournaments toward the end of the season. You definitely start seeing that as some of the top players have already secured their invites, secured their buys, whatever. They just kind of stop. So it opens up the avenue for some new names to come in here, and seeing Marvin as a new name is always going to be great for me. So shout out to that duelist. I like to see what you got going on. I think the deck is solid, and you're playing out your mind too. It's playing very strong throughout that tournament, as he was seen on the stream a few times, or as they were seen on the stream a few times. So shout out to Marvin. All right, coming on in second place again, representing Team Overdose, we have Ale 1997. Ale 1997 again playing the Chaos Turbo strategy. Looking at the deck, very standard Chaos Turbo deck, going with the 2 Solemn Judgments, just the 1 Saki Trap Does Shoot in the main deck. Pretty solid deck, but just looking at it right away, the thing that jumps off to me the most is this duelist is only playing 2 GK Spy. I think that is a mistake. I think playing 2 GK Spy in this economy in Chaos Turbo, you're going to go ahead and just need 3. I really do. I think that card is that good. I've seen it be used so many different ways. I think GK Spy at 3 is pretty much the standard at this point. Playing 2, you're only going to hurt yourself, and that was evident a few times on the stream. This duelist had opportunities to get a plus value from their deck by bringing forward the 3rd GK Spy, just didn't have the card. You know, sometimes you draw 2 GK Spy, you can't do nothing because you just don't have the card. So having a 3rd GK monster, I think, is mandatory in this metagame. In this completely hyper optimized Chaos Turbo deck, you got to start with 3. So I'll go ahead and put that there. But 1 Trap Does Shoot, I don't hate that. The 2 Solemn Judgments, I don't hate that. The trap lineup is solid. Card destruction is solid. I think everything else is solid in this deck, but I would definitely figure out a way to play 3 Gravekeeper Spies instead. In the side deck, I think everything else is pretty clean as well. Looking at that 1 main deck, side deck Karibo, I think that's really great. You know what I'm saying? Still respecting those OTK strategies as they are starting to ramp up. The Reasoning Gate's not going anywhere. You're going to play those Reasoning Gate decks. You're going to play those OTK Stein decks and everything like that. So just giving yourself an option to have a Karibo access, I think, is worth it. Again, Swordsville Light, I still think it's a great card that can be played. Main decking the Book of Moon and having a Book of Moon in the side deck, I think, is also pretty cool too. So shout out to LA 1997. I'm sure they're a very talented player. I've seen this duelist absolutely get busy, but I definitely would go 3rd Spy. I really would. And I don't even play a lot of Turbo. I'm still 3rd Spy all the way. All right, so shout out to Ale 1997, and now we're going to move on to our first place duelist, number 1, back at the winner's circle again. We got the Ivan Rossitto. I see this duelist elected to come on in trying to get a 3rd invitation. I can't believe this duelist only had 2 up to this point, but they've been kind of volunteering, doing judging, helping out with the GOAT Format World League as a war chief, so they haven't been grinding as much as they typically do, but they only had 2, and now they see that some other duelists are getting 3, and they're like, you know what, I'm gonna get back in the arena and get me another invitation. They absolutely locked it up with this event, playing another Chaos Turbo deck. So if you're playing Chaos Turbo, or if you're interested in Chaos Turbo, like I always say, focus on what this duelist is doing, because he's got a deep mind for the game. He's got a finger and thumb on the pulse of the metagame, and this is what this duelist elect to bring to this event. Again, for this event, they do become very Chaos Turbo centric very fast. So making a brave call like this, I don't recommend that for maybe your own locals or any other open forum like this. But this deck is preed for Chaos Turbo. I don't know how you're going to beat Warrior game 1. I really don't. I don't see a path to victory playing against the Warrior strategy in game number 1. But game number 2, you got all the answers you need in your side deck. And again, Ivan has probably some of the best best fundamentals you're going to find in our entire format. So I'm sure he can still manage to get through some of those tough spots. But going double Minecon, triple Dust Shoot, okay, is a brave call. I never would have guessed. Look, again, obviously, for the layman who's looking at this, oh, it's just another Chaos Turbo deck. But you got to kind of look at the history of what this duelist has been doing this whole time, and seeing that him coming out with this strategy, I think it's bold. I think it's a bold move. 1 Knight Assailant, Card D is going to be in the side deck. Tsukiyomi, a double Tsukiyomi situation. So you're maining 1 and you're siding 1. I think that's interesting. I think that's an interesting technique. So again, super solid deck. super solid player. Can't say enough about Ivan and his dueling prowess. So again, check out his YouTube page. He goes through the reviews of him playing Turbo, other people playing Turbo. He's all in on Chaos Turbo, literally the only deck he plays. And if you're into that, go ahead and check it out. But this is the deck that won. Tell us all what you think about it. Tell us what you think about this metagame. I think that there are some vulnerabilities. I think there are some openings in this game that's going to take someone to make some brave call. I think Warriors are in a great position. I think if you can have a good Warrior deck with a good Warrior bracket, I think you can make some serious strides if you are a Warrior player, because people are kind of like people are playing decks like what Ivan has loaded up here, and you're going to get some good easy wins that you typically wouldn't get throughout the rest of it. Also in those side decking, these side decking patterns, they're very exploitable, what these Chaos Turbo players are doing. So I would keep that in mind if you're trying to make a run. Observe what the metagame is, make those calls, get out there and keep dueling. But that's all I got. As always, get into the comment section. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from you. Tell me what you think about these decks. Tell us what you think about the metagame. Tell us what you think about what can be done to exploit what some of these duelists are doing. But that's all I got. Until next time, I'm JDZ. I play Ghosts. Shout out to all the real ones. Salute to the OGs. Peace.